Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I hope you're all fine and dandy. I am not. I am broadcasting to you guys from the UK, where the weather is quite possibly hot enough to melt steel beams. Fortunately, I am indoors. I don't know how those outdoory people do things, you know, the people who, I don't know, cut wheat or paint houses, whatever it is that those people who go outside do. Dreadful idea, if you ask me. Fortunately for you guys that hate the waffle at the beginning of these things, I can go straight to the action. I've got no news or information to bring you at the beginning of this one. It's going to be a custom 5v5, an eclectic mix of Joes and pros, and the action is going to take place on the Pyramid 5v5. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. Ching ka-ching. We know what we're dealing with here as we unpause the action and let the players gate in. We'll call this Team 1 up here at the top right, and this Team 2 down here at the bottom left. First of all, though, for Team 1 rearguard air position, we have Mountain. He's going UEF in Volvo Beige. Interesting choice for the air player there, opening first land. Next up down here, team member number 2. He's going Cybrin, bless him. It's Sui in Hallie Orange, opening first land. Team member number 3, as we move to the center, we've got Storm before Dawn. He's going Seraphim, Mellow Yellow, opening first land. Next up, team member number 4, also going Seraphim, this time in Ferrari Red. It's Grunty, and he's opening first land. And last but not least for Team 1, it's the recipient, the lifetime recipient of Guilecast's Fabulous Personality Award. That's right, it's Maverick. And he's going UEF, very customary for him, and going Baby Pink, also customary, opening first land. So that's Team 1 going rearguard air position for Team 2 in Elephantine Grey, going a much more arguably sensible Aeon, opening first and second air. It's Metacore. Team member number 2 to his north, it's Medicraze, and he's going Aeon as well, this time opening first land in Pontiff White. Team member number 3 in the center, we have Fitnauts. He's going Cybrin in Baby Blue, opening first land, going second air. Team member number 4 in Burgundy Red, we have Okpuck, and he's also going Aeon, opening first, second, and third land. And last but not least, on the front line, already leading to make his way to the center, he's got a huge affiliation with Tikka Masala. It's MSG in Vivacious Violet, going Seraphim, opening first land. So there we have it. This is a less than balanced game, it has to be said, at 89.38%, but I'm sure it'll be entertaining nonetheless, because of course, why would I have brought it to you? First entanglements go down over here between a Mech Marine and a Selene. The Selene has cloaked, so the Mech Marine getting nothing done there. In fact, it may well have been the Mech Marine over here, since it would have sliced through that Selene in very short order. That Mech Marine for Maverick gets torn apart by a THAM there from MSG. We can actually give a quick rundown of the general racial balance between these guys. Two UEF, 2 Seraphim, and a Cybrin there for Team 1, and then like a bajillion Aeon there for Team 2, or rather 3 Aeon, a Cybrin, and a Seraphim there for Team 2. So both of the frontline ACUs getting to the middle in more or less the same sort of time. MSG beating Maverick maybe by a couple of seconds there. A little bit of reinforcements there in the middle though for Team 1 as Storm before Dawn makes his way up onto that central plateau. No such reinforcements in the middle there for MSG. It seems like Fitnors is much more concerned about keeping the build capacity in his base and teching up as quickly as possible on his eco. About to hit his second core T2 mechs there with a little help from the comm. Maverick fanning out his initial T1 forces early. Picks up a scout kill there, and if he can get the lowdown on this Aurora and get in range, he should be able to bag it. Although actually a little bit of micro there from Medicraze. We'll see him come out on top, I think. Actually, it's going to be close. Ooh, survives with just 11 hit points to spare there. That was Medicraze's Aurora. Now we're moving into some air entanglements. Quick bomber in from Grunty, gets the bomb away. just before getting shot down. We'll take out an engineer and take that T1 mass extractor down to about 60% of base health. Grunty moving forward up in the top left with his commander, and also airdropping 3 T1 NGs pumping into the cliff with a transport. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but we'll get his engineers there safely, just about. Interceptors in from Metacore will shoot that transport down, but all 3 engineers offload safely, so that looks like that could be a hold in the top left for the time being there for Team 1. And interestingly, Mountain also gets a offload in good order with some engineers early. He's already got 1 land factory online, a second one about to be completed, and it's only 4 and 3/4 minutes gone there in game time. So good early start there from Team 1, looking to grab the corners quickly. If they can pick that up, they should be on to a early winner here. Okpuk slowly expanding out to the east. He's going to be needing, he really does need to try and dislodge Mountain out of this bottom right hand corner. Okpuk is their ringer, Team 2. He's sitting at 1800, way ahead of anyone else on his team. Next highest player in the game is Sui up here, and he's on 1700. So he is the man to take out if you're rooting for Team 1. Lots of land factories going up online here, and Okpuk seems determined to dislodge Mountain out of that bottom right hand corner. Lots of T1 spam making its way over here, but I think Mountain might have got set up in good order here. I think he's got enough time to secure the perimeter. We've also got engineers in force making their way onto this raised section of terrain now for Sui. Checking out what's going on in the rest of the field. Remember, we saw multiple ACUs turn up in the middle there for Team 1. Maverick getting an upgrade on his commander. MSG already at T2, just completed that a moment ago. Maverick has his teammate there, but not getting any assistance on the upgrade as yet. But of course, the nature of the pyramid means there's this ruddy great monument in the way, which separates general ACU play right in the center, as these guys tend to build up forward bases here and here. Lots of interceptor entanglements. In fact, this game getting off to a very busy start, as you would expect, I guess, on a 5v5. Both teams piling all of their forces into the map. Very little sitting back and teching up. Okpuk driving a wedge between the incoming forces there of Sui and, of course, this outpost down in the bottom right-hand corner for Mountain. He's nearly completed his 5th land factory down here. The longer he waits to try and make a play for this bottom right-hand corner, the more entrenched Team 1 are going to be, so he wants to step on the gas in that respect. What's going on over here? Well, he's getting an upgrade on his commander. Maverick's completed T2. Grunty's upgrading T2. Fitnall's upgrading T2. Lots and lots of commander upgrades going on in the early games. These guys get set up for the major collisions ahead. A couple of NGs dropped off by a chariot there for Medicraze. Doesn't look like he's got any other plans for the time being. Focus obviously elsewhere. T1 mechs for Storm Before Dawn. Under pressure. A couple of Zuis going to be brought in to deal with that. Sui will lose the Mantis, brought in to defend. Down goes the radar nearby, eliminating intel for Team 1 in this area. That chariot we saw earlier getting shot down. Looks like 3 or 4 engineers still on board when that thing got popped. Grunty nearly completed his T2 upgrade. MSG completes his gun upgrade, and now he does have support from Fitnors, who's moved to the center and is getting an upgrade as well. So it's 2v2 comm-wise in the middle. Maverick completes a tactical missile launcher in the center, and he's going to get a T2 PGen next to that to help assist with construction time, and then he's going to get some other defenses, including a shield gen, to keep that safe. It's going to be a nasty little fire base from Team 1. Sui breaks through that wedge that Okpuk was trying to drive earlier. Okpuk with double gun upgrade on that Aeon Commander. Now has the sniper comm. Lots of damage potentially there. Suggests some kind of Rambo maneuver, and if he wants to take this out quickly, he needs to get on with that. Lots of T1 tanks, though, in the area. Another group of engineers dropped off. Sui seeming like he's setting himself up for a bit of a land grab here. Okpuk looking almost like he's potentially dividing his forces here, sending the T1 to prevent Sui from expanding and trying to get his comm in a position to take out the bottom right, but mustn't overestimate where he's at. Mountain and Sui looking pretty well consolidated in this portion of the map. A lot of T1. Yes, there's that commander with the gun upgrades, but that advantage can be brushed aside very, very quickly at this stage. No ranks and veterancy yet, remember, and no upgrades that assist with hit points like T2 or anything like that. But Okpuk's going for it, rolling forward, and it does look like he's planning to support his commander with his T1. I think if he's gonna go and do this with his comm, he's gonna need that support. Oh, I might have spoken too soon. Now it looks like they're backing up. Medicraze has suffered damage on his commander. About 7,000 hit points there. Getting involved in a bit of a base war with Grunty, who's already set up. That's the problem. Looks like if he wants to try and set up shop, he might have to yield a little bit of ground there. This really makes me nervous. Okpuk, emboldened by his ranking maybe, flirting with disaster. Unprotected. Has some swift winds out to protect his forces from any air incursion. Here we go. This could be decisive. He needs to knock this base out and knock it out pretty comprehensively. There is now T2 point defense online in there. Triad opening up, firing through the factories there and landing hits on that commander. Regular unupgraded commander is supposed to be relative to about 20 T1 tanks. And Mercy Strike inbound on Sui, and that takes him down to 2,500 HP. He needed a couple more there. There's one lurking. Will it connect is the question. He's hurriedly building anti-air defenses. T1 tracers going up. It does activate. Oh my goodness me, down to 500 hit points. He needs one more, but now there's shield coverage on the commander. Sui rolling forward to try and drive his own wedge between incoming T1 forces of Okpuk and Okpuk's comm. Okpuk's taken a bit of damage there. He was down to around 6-7,000, but he got a ranking vet. He's back up to around 9-10 now. Mountain rolling out with his strikers. He knows that if he can sync up with the T1 of Sui's, he can put Okpuk on the defensive here. And Okpuk's comm looking like it's on the way to getting sandwiched here. Yes, he's got the double gun upgrades, but he's already suffered pretty hefty damage. 7,000 hit points remain. Oh no, could we see an early ejection and Team 2's lead player going out as he absorbs some Lobo fire, looking very peaky indeed, dropping below 500 hit points. It's not going to turn out well for Okpuck. And Team 2's lead player ejected within the first quarter of an hour of this one, and suddenly this right flank looking incredibly vulnerable to Team 1. They're well set up for a push now from this bottom right hand corner. Let's take a look at what's going on elsewhere. So in the meantime, MSG looks like he's almost single-handedly dislodged Maverick and Storm Before Dawn. They've had to back up to the main base. Storm Before Dawn getting an upgrade on his commander. Not sure what that upgrade is. So he's got gun and nano repair now on board. MSG has T2 gun and nano repair. Very chunky looking commander. 16,500 HP and extra damage on board to boot. And of course, all of Okpuck's stuff went up in flames with his comms destruction. So full share is off, meaning no fairies have to die today, which is always a plus. Medicraze desperately trying to hold on to his forward fire base under mounting pressure from Grunty, and he surely has to capitulate now and withdraw. Team 2 cannot afford to lose another comm on their flank. It really will be all over before it's begun. Has to be said though, Okpuck very unlucky not to succeed with that mercy strike on Sui, who's still not fully recovered, in fact not even partially recovered. 4,600 hit points on board that paper thin Cybran commander. Fitnors at T2 air, trying to thin out Maverick's invading forces with some renegade gunships. But the bulk of that little expeditionary force from Maverick is going to try and hit Medicraze from the southeast. It's going to kill off a few NGs, slow up the production of the defenses, but Medicraze's commander with those renegades should be able to brush aside those tanks without any major difficulty. This really is the one saving grace at the moment though for Team 2. MSG pushing back the combined forces of Storm Before Dawn and Maverick. Will he be able to hold though is the question. We now have Flapjacks and I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. The oh, why not? It's the, what is it? The Ether. Is that even close? The Ether Seraphim mobile missile launcher, stinging at range. MSG's shields under pressure now, building more as he goes. Does have a T2 static artillery. Not always easy to connect though on this map. You can see the way the land falls away there. Slope leads to regular overshooting. Maverick repositioning slightly. Hill shivers for Storm Before Dawn. Rolling westwards to engage a few of MSG's T1. They get effectively put down by that sandwich action from Storm Before Dawn and Grunty. And we've got a TAC missile up here now for MSG. That's been hitting some of the Mass extractors down here, which I'm sure were in Sui's hands a moment ago. We haven't really had a chance to take a look at the eco side of things. Metacore, that's Team 2's air player, way out in front of everybody on 135. He's been ecoing pretty hard. MSG in second place, the only other player over 100. He's on 105. Medicraze on 92. These are all Team 2 players, so yes, they've lost Okpuk. MSG, of course, benefiting from... In fact, MSG and, of course, Metacore benefiting from the loss of Okpuk. But Medicraze ecoing well there on the left-hand side as well. And you take a look at, say, people like Sui and where's Mountain? He's at the top. They've been trying so hard with this early pressure. They haven't had a chance to eco much yet, so they're sitting on numbers like 72 and 55. Despite having all of this extra territory under their control, they're not yet able to make it pay. Can they disrupt things, though, with this little T1 incursion? Sui trying to get in amongst the kind of middle section of MSG's developments. Bitnords is in place with his comm. Trying to get more Cerberus turrets online. I imagine the most effective thing to do right now would be to move that commander out and try and use it to shoot down some of the T1, but I don't think any of this really threatens anything sensitive right now for MSG. ASF's on the field now in mounting numbers for Mountain. See what I did there? Not seeing any major T3 air presence yet for Metacore. He does have his T3 air factory online, but so far his air wings consisting primarily of T2 Swift Winds. Sniper bots in play up here for Grunty as these two guys try to outrange each other. A couple of sniper bots not likely to break through the shielding, though. It's likely to be said, well, it has to be said. MSG prowling around the fringes of Sui's base with some T2 Ilshivas there, absorbing some fire before disappearing behind that hillock. Band of Stingers coming in now there from Mountain. T2 gunships going to be put to work, I'd imagine, on those Ilshivas of MSGs. Few ASFs to provide some air coverage. A little fighter screen. It looks like Metacore is thinking about getting involved. He has but 3 ASFs, and they're going to get shot down almost as quickly as they arrived. Swift Winds rolling in now. Are they going to focus on the Stingers first or the ASFs? It looks like they're trying to shoo away the ASFs first. They do worse than to kill off the gunships now. There's actually a broadsword in there as well. T3 gunship. Absorbing a lot of fire before finally getting shot down and providing Mountain with a little bit of time to get his ASFs back into the mix. Maverick saying drop in team chat. Wondering what that pertains to. Seen something somewhere. Keep an eye on it. MSG upgrading advanced nano repair. It's already a pretty beastly commander at 18,150 hit points. It's got the gun, it's got the T2, and now it's going to be even harder to kill. And would you look at that, 4 static T2s peppering Maverick and Storm Before Dawn's front line. See the shield generators capitulating under the fire there. Slight power issues for MSG as those shields blink on and off. expensive business, these advanced upgrades. Once again, that overshooting problem, very often an issue. But this is nice work from MSG. He's got another group of Ilshivers pushing forward into Sui's base, potentially. Storm Before Dawn has his commander there. He's trying to take out as many as he can on their way past. Seeing a huge amount of overcharges. There goes a nicely placed one, however, taking out 2 of them. Really does highlight just how garbage the Cerberus turrets are. 3 of them getting beaten by 4 Ilshivers. It ain't right. Maybe surprised that I argue for anything to be improved in the Cybran arsenal, but I think every race is entitled to at least semi-competent point defense. Something the Cybrans certainly don't have. Lots and lots of Ilshivers around the map now for MSG, and they're getting good work done. Shooing away some of Sui's Mantis there. And a few more of them still online over here as well as he rolls in behind that forward set of factories for Sui. And we have an experimental online now for Fitnors. One Monkey Lord moving out towards Grunty's front line. Grunty has in fact moved back with his commander. He's not sitting at that front line, which is no bad thing as far as he's concerned, because it could be about to be wiped out. Maverick keeping up with the T2 artillery spam. Oh dear, bad time to blink. Shield gens back online. That Demolisher nearly sneaking a shell through, but alas, it's off target. Where's that Monkey Lord going? So interesting stuff. He's not sending it towards Grunty's forward position. Instead, it looks like he's going to move in and hit Maverick, maybe. It's going to hoover up some of these T3 Othams first of all. Well, if Grunty didn't know it was there, he does now. And Team 1 complete their first experimental. This time it's from Storm Before Dawn, and it's an Ithota. And it's moving out to engage the spider bot in the background there. Sensible decision. Trying not to step on Maverick's base as he rolls through. Never want to intentionally destroy any of your teammates' buildings. Not that it would, of course. Game mechanics don't allow for it. Certainly if it did, the last person you'd want to do it to is Maverick. Not without a significant pair of earmuffs. Interesting, he hasn't sent this straight on the offensive. So the Ithota that was moving to engage the Monkey Lord is actually going after MSG. MSG sitting beneath shield coverage. Now we're going to see how tanky he is with that advanced nano repair. I think that Ithota might catch him. Shields down. There go all of the defensive emplacements pretty much. Opens up on MSG's commander, but in comes some strap bombers there from Metacore, surely to save the day. Overshoots ever so slightly, but most importantly, a lot of the HP has been taken off. MSG turns around and engages. He feels chunky enough to finish it off with overcharge. A little help from Fitness with some whalers, and that will be the end to that. Meanwhile, the Monkey Lord has eviscerated Grunty's forward position. Grunty has backed up way up here with his commander, and now, for the first time in this game, that top left-hand corner seems like it might be in doubt for Team 1. Storm Before Dawn has moved his ACU out towards the bottom right-hand corner. Standard pleasantries being engaged in chat there amongst Team 1 allies. Now, will Maverick be able to capitalize on the demise of MSG's forward position? We'll have to wait and see. That Monkey Lord Fitnors has been sent predictably up to the top left-hand corner. This is an important land grab now for Team 2. Medicray's not hanging about, is moving forward with his land forces, mostly T1, but with assaulted T3 in there as well. Attack missile launcher for Sui, going after vulnerable mexes down here in what was Okpuk's old territory. MSG, like a boss, is just going to sit out there and absorb Demolisher Fire while hoovering up the wreck of that Ithota. Grunty air-vacking his commander back to safety. Has lost almost the entirety of the forward territory he gained in the first 25 minutes, and looks like he could be about to lose even more as Medicraze advances. Potential vulnerable mass extractors now. Otham's roll out to defend. MSG giving 0 sexies. Suppose you could argue he cares a little bit, strutting his stuff back and forward, avoiding the occasional shell. But 47,000 hit points at full strength, that is a chunky looking commander. Whoa. Strap bombers inbound though might make him think twice. Mountain engaging with a couple of ambassadors. Even so, the needle hardly moved on his health. Gonna force him to withdraw. There's only a tiny bit of mass left in that wreck. GC turns up on the scene meanwhile for Medicraze. Maverick still out front with his commander, has personal shield, Ras and T3. And Medicraze looking to expand to that top left-hand corner. Mountain was actually looking like he was making a play with a quick airdrop there. But there's already T1 PD online and now T2 as well. You can see he'd already queued up land factories there. That's not going to happen. And a few mercies up here as well, maybe looking to engage that Ithota belonging to Grunty. Lots of ambassadors in the center going after that GC of Medicraze. Where's Maverick? Well, he's evacing, and in fact that position of Mavericks is being double teamed potentially. There's a Monkey Lord coming in from the west. It's not going to make it though. It's been engaged by Grunty's Ithota from the northwest. and that will be brushed aside pretty easily. Grunty now has to get that Ithota down here to engage that Colossus before it hoovers up absolutely everything. Fortunately for Maverick, he's built quite a lot of T2 P-gens. They're blinking on and off. One depletes and another one recharges. And Medicraze decides he's had enough of that. He's going to try and back away. Turns his back on the Ithota. He was never going to get that safe. Might have been better just to engage it to take some HP off. I guess he doesn't want to offer up an easy wreck for reclaim purposes. Massive tac missile volley in there from Storm Before Dawn. It's a huge investment, those tac missiles. Very defensive play. Not sure that effective either. But a GC down the bottom from Metacore hits Sui's forward base. He was getting a Megalith online. Now that's not going to happen, it doesn't look. He's got his commander in the area as well. Can they kill off this Colossus before it gets in range of Sui's commander? That is the question. That would really open things up for Team 2 if they can kill him off. In comes a Starlifter trying to evac that commander. Slight miscommunication on the pickup there. Sui carries on walking. I think he's probably safe. That GC down to 40,000 hit points now. That Ithota up here with 76 kills is still going. Fitnor, though, has a Megalith online. Ithota hiding from that huge set of twin-mounted, forward-facing proton cannons. $23,000 hit points left on that Colossus. It's looked healthier. Scooping up the T1 PDs as the NGs hurriedly try and throw up some defenses to stall its advance. Support commander for MSG rolling forward. Combatant preset. Fitnor's had enough of this. Is going to advance around the edge of the hillock. Grunty, knowing he's not going to get out of it, it's just going to move forward and engage. Ion Storm should add a little extra damage if you can get close enough. Here it goes. Team 2 now firmly in control of the top left-hand corner. Metacore's out in front on eco side of things, 221. Next up behind him is his opponent, his mirror, and that's Mountain on 178. Grunty on 171. Fitnor's on 167. Medicraze on 194. He's actually in first place. Might be reclaim related, but actually he's certainly in second. MSG has dropped off the pace slightly on eco. Lost a few mexes up front thanks to his battles with Maverick and Grunty. NG's for Fitnor, airlifted to that Ithota wreck. Attack ping going down as a reminder. We've got NG's rolling in from Maverick trying to get their hands on some of that mass. And a fat boy for Maverick's about to cause all kinds of problems to that mass scooping operation as the artillery shells rain down. There they go. MSG with that Commander of Doom taking Fat Boy fire now, but what do we hear? That's an Ithota, and that's going after Medicraze's forward forces, taking out almost all of them in one strike. Haven't had a chance to really take a look at who's affording the better air protection here. So Metacore with 33 ASFs on the field, Mountain by comparison with 20, so slight advantage, but not huge numbers. Nothing you'd consider a comfortable deterrent against pretty extensive use of this Awasar now. Another bomb away on top, this time of Fitnor's Megalith. Drops it down to 30-odd thousand HP. Under fire as well from Maverick's Fat Boy. In comes Metacore with his ASFs, locking straight onto that bomber. They're going to take heavy casualties in the process from Mountain's ASFs, which are engaging. They're desperate, though, to shoot down that bomber. I don't know if he's going to manage it. It's going to be very close. He will have traded all of his ASFs to do so, though, pretty much. Down goes the bomber. Yes, he's successful in that endeavor. But that does hand at least part-time potential air control to Team 1. MSG hoovering up the rest of that Ethota wreck now. Maverick grabs one of the Colossuses, or Colossi, and there went Fitnor's Megalith. That's more mass going out for Maverick. Massive tac missile volley. MSG needs to get moving. Will he avoid the blast range? Was it lead? No, it was fired directly at the commander. Good alertness there from MSG. Doesn't matter how much nano repair units you got on that thing. Get hit with that many tac missiles and it is game over. So he needs to be very wary if he's going to continue to play up front so aggressively. More experimentals under construction in the basis of Team 2. We've got a nuke launcher that's complete as well, and about 30% done on a nuke. Maverick endearing himself to the community once again with his diplomatic mannerisms. Another Fat Boy completed. You've got to be impressed with the way Team 1 have managed to push MSG back. He was looking very strong up front there for a while. In fact, I'm trying to work out where his commander's gone. Is that it? No, that's a support commander. But he's well and truly backed away from the mess up front. There he is. He's joined Fitnor's. In fact, both of them look like they're evacing the middle. And we actually have a strategic missile launcher ready, or complete, I should say, in the center for Fitnor's, and that's about 65-70% done on a nuke, maybe 65%, but brutally, I don't know if they're going to get to use it. Maverick is encroaching now with that Fat Boy, and Storm Before Dawn rolling in with another Ethota. We do have a Megalith heading in from the southeast as well, so this base might be about to go up in flames just as they're about to get a nuke done as well. It could have been a game-changing nuke right there, and they're not going to get a chance to fire it. Colossus stands tall trying to repel the invaders, but it's going to make little to no difference. Avoids that huge alpha strike from the Ethota, but finally succumbs. Down goes the nuke launcher. That is very, very painful indeed for Team 2. Another Ethota turns up, this time from MSG, but there's so much range damage that he's trying to resist. Okpuk astonished at the way this game has turned out. Amazing they've managed to hold on to the bottom right, considering how much progress MSG had made in the center, but there was never any real concerted effort to take this area back for Team 2. Well, we nearly have a nuke ready. I'm sure that one's not going to get taken out before it's ready. Famous last words, of course. Now, that Fat Boy and that Megalith and that Ithota in range of MSG's main base, and they literally have nothing, it would seem, to repel it. Well, we've got another nuke launcher, and it's actually MSG that gets a nuke off first, so that was a massive commitment to nukes that Team 2 made. They could have had 3 of them. The question is, where is this one going? It's heading up here, maybe. No, assistance pings rather than nuke icons. If it drops right there, though, on top of that SMD, it could take Sui out of the game. It might still do. Oh my goodness me! Boom, baby! Sui knocked out. Well, that's one way to take back the bottom right. Just take out the comm with a nuke. Another nuke airborne, this time from Metacore. We'll check back in on its progress in just a second, but we've got to focus on what's going on down here. MSG's base, the commander is under pressure. The Ithota reaches the commander. The Megalith there for Sui goes up with the rest of his belongings. And this one's going to hit Maverick. Where is Maverick's commander? Maverick hit massively. All of his core mass down and out. Insults his teams for the lack of SMD. Someone should tell him that he has the ability to build one himself as well. But surely it's not going to matter. The well-placed nukes, admittedly, but well-placed experimentals breaching the front door now. Medicrae's under pressure from an Ithota of Grunties that's made its way down the western edge of the map. Medicrae's HP is evaporating incredibly quickly. One more blast is landed. There goes another player for Team 2. Support commanders for Fitnor going pop left, right and center. Maverick getting Fat Boys into range. Mountain even has one of his own that's turned up. MSG trying to chase down Grunty's experimental that just took out his teammate there. Making very hard work of it, but eventually it goes down. But his own base is in absolute tatters. Down to 83 mass per tick. Occasional strap bomber from Mountain harassing MSG's commander. There are definitely more vulnerable things to go after at the moment. That commander very chunky and well covered by a comprehensive fighter screen there from Metacore. But the most pressing concern now has to be these 3 Fat Boys getting into range now potentially of Fitnor's base, having eradicated MSG's main base. The Ithota here sitting absorbing Restorer Fire, Storm Before Dawn. Unlikely, I think, to get that anywhere where it can do any major damage from here on out. Does manage to get MSG's Quantum Gateway. Will it get the T3 P-Gen as well? Yes, it will. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? Pulling the Restorers away before the thing is down. There's still 2k HP left. Someone kill that thing off. It's still going. And they've done it again. Metacore, what are you doing? And it just strolls into Fitnor's base. Attack missile launchers going down, and it kills Fitnor's commander. That was completely unnecessary. Massive error there. allowing that Ithota to endure. Fitnor pays for it with his life, and with the destruction of MSG's base, the loss of 2 more commanders on that left flank and the center, that surely seals the fate for Team 2. Mavericks, Fat Boys under Restorer fire. They do have some extra para-shield coverage. Skyboxers rolling in to combat the T3 gunships. But he now has to split his firepower between those Fat Boys and these Percivals from Mountain that are rolling in from the bottom right-hand corner, which all of this game has essentially, ever since Okpuk tried to take it back with that ill-advised comm push, it has endured. Engineers throwing up T1 PD as quickly as possible. Still those Fat Boys online. MSG now taking Fat Boy fire, almost in triplicate, but certainly in duplicate. Needs to get inside that shield gen if he can. Probably not the best time to go reclaiming. Perhaps a slight misclick on the directional side of things. Shield down, a couple of overcharges if he can do it, should do it. Mountain about to lose a Fat Boy there, but at this point it's all academic. And he's actually got another nuke ready to go, but it's not been given an order to fire, and Percival's surely about to put an end to that plan. They just need to kill one of these P-gens. The chain reaction should take care of the rest. In fact, the Percivals will die out thanks to the T1 PD fire, but the Fat Boys will get it. Gaboom! MSG still alive. Rebuilds and energy storage to take advantage of some overcharge capabilities against Mavericks Fat Boys that are sitting up here in range. Desync at the end, but we really don't need to worry about that. Certainly only one outcome of this game now. Attention is turned to MSG's commander. He might have the advanced nano, but that's an awful lot of fire that's coming his way. He jukes to his right, he jukes to his left, all the while taking on fire. 200, 100, nothing. Down he goes, leaving Metacore to fight it out alone. And you just wonder if that Ithota had been killed off. I don't think you could have called it game-changing, but would they have been able to at least draw this one out a little bit longer? But as it stands, the game is completed just inside of 45 minutes with a very sturdy win there for Team 1 from a relatively shaky position. MSG looked very strong, but once the tide started to come in, the strength of Team 2 just seemed to break away from underneath it. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. There's always more to come from me in the future. Don't forget, you can support me on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Details below this on how to do that and each and every one of my videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done it already, because why not? And I will see you next time. Stay well, guys, and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.